So, do you like to get pegged or prefer to get strapped? Personally, I'm a strap guy. I've tried pegging. It's not for me. For my backpacks, what did you think I was talking about? Come on. Welcome back to Shadowtoys Photography. Today we're discussing which backpack design is basically best, which functions the best. What kind of started all this was I heard Bobby Valaverse say that he couldn't do a strap design because he didn't think it functioned correctly, or there's some kind of excuse. And sir, I gotta respectfully tell you, you're wrong, you're uninformed. Let me pitch my case here. And this is a Mezco too. I'm surprised you haven't heard that. Mezco's been doing strap bags since they started doing them. I mean, I'm using this diabolique or diabolic bag because this is completely molded plastic. I didn't want to cheat and use one of their like cloth good bags because obviously that's going to work really well. I wanted to use completely molded plastic. You can't remove these. And I like those old designs. I forget what it was with. It was like Walking Dead or G.I. Joe or something like that. I do have newer G.I. Joe here, which we'll compare with their pegs. And then I have some Valaverse here, just the both sizes, the small and large. So let's start off with Snow Jab here. Now, they did it right. I mean, he's got straps, but they're not part of his bag. You know what I mean? And as far as like design-wise, not functionality as opposed to attaching to the figure, but design-wise, like this is G.I. Joe, this is Hasbro, obviously. This is fine. I mean, you could store his gun on there, his extra snowshoes, his skis, his poles, whatever. And that's good. I do wish this opened up and you could kind of store things in there. And then if you move on to Valaverse, which you can't really store anything on there at all. However, this opens up and see, you got hands in there and the antenna, but you could store a whole bunch of stuff in there where you basically get the whole, you know, circumference or width, diameter, I think is the right word, of the bag there. So you could put a lot in there. So it's like both Valaverse and Hasbro are doing something right, and you know, they're kind of both doing something wrong. You know what I mean? They both have good elements, and they both, it's like, I'm not too sure. And then you have Mezco here with the straps, and this also opens up. I'm just trying to open up slowly. There we go. See, I got the little knives in there, so I wasn't trying to spill that. But see, that opens up, that functions perfectly. I mean, their other bags kind of do the same thing where all the main parts can kind of open up. I should have brought out an example, but that was just kind of against the point here. Again, I just wanted to stick with the molded plastic. So that being said, let's go on to functionality. Now, I got Dusty here. Let's get Dusty's bag on him. Okay, so that's not coming off too easy. However, it looks a little awkward. You know, I don't like that you could see the peg jam it in there. I mean, for most shots, I mean, it's going to be easily hidden, but like this gives the illusion of the straps. You know what I mean? It's just, why didn't you just put the straps there? I mean, this is just, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. Just kind of, I'll show you some examples. It's really not that difficult. I mean, it does stay on. This is kind of, I don't want to say newer, but the first kind of version of Hasbro G.I. Joes, they wouldn't stay on too well. His stays on. See, I have to like hit it a lot, and yeah, it's not coming off. So that's good. Now let's move on to a Valaverse. This is a newer Valaverse. Let's do the bigger bag first. It's a really long peg. Jeez. Here, compared to, hang on, Hasbro's. Oh yeah, that is almost double the size. You can kind of argue that. All right, let's get him over here. Let's not go back that crazy. Let's get the, actually, let's see if Duke's fits. I mean, dusty. And no, because of this, I'm not even going to try it again. Waste of time. Let's do the big one here. This is Vala to Vala, Valaverse Action Force, Valaverse Action Force. And that's on okay. I mean, and that has the antenna there, so that's going to get in the way, and all of them pretty much with this gear set do. So it's going to look like awkward, and yeah, that comes off way easy, way too easy. Do I even have to do this test? I mean, there you go. So proof's in the pudding. I just got to be honest. I have no horse in this race. Just being indifferent. I mean, obviously Hasbro has figured out the pegging system. I mean, they've been pegging their employees for years, so they should have gotten it right. I mean, Valaverse, it's good theory. It's good in theory, but, and it just doesn't look, it just looks like it's floating behind him. You know what I mean? Kind of looks like almost like a bad video game character. Let's try the smaller one. So that works a little bit better, a little bit closer. When you touch it, it starts to come off. Yeah. So it's got a longer peg too, and it's, despite that, you would think to make up for this, still doesn't work. Did I try a Valaverse in here? Yeah, that's not going in at all. So it's definitely a design thing. Looks like that's an octagon, stop sign. And this is just a circle. So there you go right there. This has no grip. That's a design flaw right there. But let's move into realism now. Actually, let's move on to the females real quick. Just as a quick example, I got my, and this is the Valaverse body. I just put the old Scarlet head on there. And she's got the bigger backpack on there. Here, let me swing it this way. And because of the knife, you can see, sticks out a little bit, right? But looks a little bit better. But from this angle, it's like, again, it's got that floating backpack thing. Let's bring out another female who's got the small one on there. Same gear set, but no knife. And that gets a little bit flush, and that's also the smaller one. Let's try the big one real quick without the knife. Okay. And that seems to work out. Never mind. And now I have a mess everywhere. So, Vala, I'm afraid you are in last place when it comes to backpacks here. I mean, I'm demonstrating in real time how these are functioning, and it's not working out too good. Let's bring out a figure that's not an unbiased, who's has no horse in this race again. Let's do Mattel Bailey, right? She doesn't have any holes in her back, which is another aesthetically pleasing thing. But let's try this. I mean, she's got double joints. I mean, that one on 1, 2, 3. I mean, it is plastic molded. So you can argue it doesn't sit, I mean, because of the straps, it sits a little bit more realistically. I mean, yes, it's not flush against her back. You do that, you can kind of pull the straps forward. You could do it that way. You know, if it's a figure fitting the straps a little bit tighter, that'll work. But I mean, I just feel like it's more of a realistic, like kind of like high school look, you know what I mean? And Bobby was saying like they can't get their arms forward. I mean, well, she doesn't have butterflies, so this might be a bad example. I'll bring out one with butterflies next. But she totally can, so I got to disagree with that statement. The straps are the way to go. I want to see, I mean, even though Hasbro figured it out and they're not going to change anything unless it's costing them money, even then they're going to push the envelope. But I would love to see them switch the straps. It's just more realistic. I get because it's G.I. Joe, and they may not. You know, let's bring out, speaking of another Hasbro, the new Scarlet, who I didn't put her hair on, because we're going to be doing this demonstration. But Vala, I feel like you can do it. You can switch. Here's a Valaverse. You can switch because, all right, that goes in there a little bit better. You can switch to straps because you gotta, and this is the smaller one. That doesn't look as good. You got to keep up and just compete, and it would just be great, honestly. Game changer. And I feel like those at Valaverse, all those who are involved, have the talent to do it. This is G.I. Joe on G.I. Joe. Fits a little bit better, but I'm not crazy about the gap. But splitting hairs. This is her backpack now. What does she have? Yeah. No, it's 6-sided. That's a hexagon, I think. Hex is 6. Oh, man. My 6th grade teacher is... another teacher upset at me. I'm getting my shapes. Good Lord. I need to get out more. So this is the new Scarlet backpack. And yeah, that's sitting a lot more flush. But again, it's got no straps. So it's just like floating with her. And it doesn't open, which I wish it would, but it could hold their weapons. But that looks stupid. Come on, that looks stupid. Let's be honest. That looks stupid. They do it better with over there, but I mean, I understand because the guns are going to pop on there, but it's even like, design. All right, let's move on to the final one here. I got her on the stand here. This is a pretty good stand, actually. I got to do a comparison video on stands next. I don't want this to run too long either. This will be the final comparison here because she's got butterfly joints. Oh, yeah, look, that... Yeah, that's really cool. And isn't she on the, oh, I forgot her name. The obscure woman from, I think it's with a B. That's coming with the Dragonhawk, the helicopter, the HASBRO helicopter. Yeah, I'm going to remember it as soon as this video's over. But, I mean, it's the same body. And, yeah, she's like a helo jumper. So I kind of like that. It looks like a parachute backpack, honestly. Definitely looks like a Batman or modern day futuristic stealth parachute. It's gonna pop out of there. But I like the way that looks. And let's see, she's got butterfly joints, but let's see. With the straps, I mean, that's not interfering at all. You know, I'm moving that all around her. I mean, well, she's got butterflies. They're a little bit better than Bailey's because she doesn't have them, but they didn't really cut in enough. Again, it's just a HASBRO thing. I'm not trying to get on the figure design here, just the backpacks. Try to keep it just about the backpacks. But yeah, it can be done. It works. It looks fine. Mezco is the leader. I mean, despite on how you feel about them, when it comes to accessories, Mezco's the champ. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And this is just the superior way to go. I mean, what do you think? I mean, this isn't a comment draw or anything like that. I genuinely want a consensus on which do you guys think is the best design. I mean, it's straps, man. It's straps. Strapped all the way. Tell me if you disagree. Let me know. Until next time, backpack. Ugh.